We're here with Cobber head coach Terry Horan as he begins another season. Let's kind of look back. It's your 14th year as you come into this season.
See the gray hair on the sides.
How has your coaching style changed from the time you started until now?
Oh, that's a great question. You know what? I know I still get uptight and I get tense at things, but I have relaxed a lot since my earlier days. As far as our style defensively, we've changed. We went from a 4-3 to a 3-4 about 4 or 5 years ago. Offensively, we still, have continued to keep doing a lot of the stuff that we've been doing since I started 14 years ago. But we've evolved with it. We're out of more formations and we're doing more, and that. Every year, we look at us offensively, defensively, even special teams, and to see what we can do better. And really, I'm blessed with a great staff, and we continue to kind of move with the times. And I really believe if you're stagnant with what you're doing, you're going to be falling behind the eight ball. And you look at our league, we can't be that way. We got to continue to kind of keep moving forward, to be the best that we can be. So, in that sense, we've changed schematically here and there. Me personally, I've aged. I still feel like I'm 20 though at times, but I still pace the sidelines and as my staff will say, maybe get on the stripes a little bit here and there, and that's just to kind of release some of my tension. But all in all, I'm still the same happy-go-lucky guy.
Now, as we head into this season, it's you got a lot of returners. You had a couple of 8-2 seasons, and on both sides of the ball, you have some key players. First, let's go to the offensive. Griffin, Neal, a quarterback, 2-year starter. He's poised to become the all-time leading passer. What does he bring as far as when he started 2 years ago and now what he brings to the team on offense this year?
The first word that comes to mind is experience. You can't coach that. He's like another coach out there. He knows our offense so well, and he sees things so well. If he wasn't going to be heading over to RDO after he's done graduating, I'd try to get him on staff because he's really got a great mind, and he will go down as one of the best to ever play the position. And I can say that just because I know it, and he can beat you with his legs, he can beat you with his arm, but he's the captain of our ship, and we go as he goes.
Now, on the defensive side of things, it's going to be a younger unit, but you still have, up front, you have 3 quality players in Nick Lean, Carl, and then Nate Adams on the side, especially Nate Adams, returning All-American.
Yeah.
How has he changed? Just a year ago, he was incoming, he was new, and you didn't know what you were going to have with him.
I had a captain meeting last night, and I was telling the captains, I said, with Nate Adams last year coming in, transferring into us, he was really quiet and just, he played hard, and obviously his play, speaks for itself and what he was able to get the honors that he had at the end of the season. But what he's done this year in camp is he's been a vocal leader. He's brought a lot of fun to our practices. He's constantly I won't say running his mouth in a bad way. He's having fun, and he's patting everybody on the back, and he's continuing to up his level of play. He's got an incredible motor. He's got great physical strength, and he's a huge key to our defense. And you talk about all 3 of those guys, Nate, Nick, and Carl. They're 3 all-conference type guys, and we're fired up to obviously have the 3 of them, and it'll be fun to see them go to work tomorrow.
Now let's turn to tomorrow's game. You play at Jamestown. You've opened with them the last 2 years, and I know one thing that's always been a concern is they've had a game under their belts. They played Valley City last week. How long does it usually take you guys to kind of get into your rhythm, as opposed to they have 4 quarters under their belt?
Yeah, that you can't make that up. It's nice to have the even playing ground when you open a season with 2 teams that haven't played. I really believe, and I think you hear it probably from every coach, you probably make your greatest improvements from week 1 to week 2. And so them having a game under their belt that puts us behind the 8 ball quite a bit. And you just, you look at practice and you look at the scrimmages that we've had, and we've had 60-some reps. Well, that's almost like 3/4 of play. So it's not like we're even getting 4/4 of play with our top kids out there. So from a conditioning standpoint, and that concerns a head football coach. And but we're gonna go into it, and we're gonna play as hard as we can for as long as we can. But to answer your question in the beginning, it probably takes us a few games, 2 to 3 games, to really kind of get into that game mode, being in shape for games, and get a feel for a game. You just can't get it all done in week 1.
Finally, one thing sometimes people don't understand is nowadays you play all your games on either field turf or an artificial turf surface. You're going to open the season on one of your few grass games. How does that differ from playing, because you've practiced the whole preseason and everything on your field turf surface? Now, how does that equate? How do you guys have to relate that to the grass field?
Right. Well, obviously we've been blessed to have the field turf, and you're right. We have 2 games this year on grass, Jamestown and Bethel, and Jamestown's grass will be a little bit taller than Bethel's, but it's still football field, and you still got to pick your feet up and run and do the things that that you can do athletically, but it'll take a little of an adjustment, and that's where that pre-practice and then prior to the game we got to get on that field as quickly as we can and just kind of get the lay of the land. But you're still running and catching and tackling and on a football field, so in that way it's no different.
Now let's go full circle with this interview. 14 years, do you still get butterflies? You're still nervous before the first game?
Oh, you haven't seen me pacing the hallway this morning? Yes, most definitely, until that opening kickoff, and then then we're into it.
Perfect. Good luck.
Thanks so much.